What is a life lesson? Well, a life lesson is something from which useful knowledge or principles can be learned. It's based on the idea of learning from your mistakes, and since life lessons are learned individually, it's unique to everybody. Ever since I was the age of 19, I started to reflect on the experiences that I've had throughout the year, and I asked myself, what could I have possibly learned from those valuable experiences? On my YouTube recommendations, there was a video that popped up called Life Lessons from 100-Year-Olds. And it was such an inspirational video about 3 people who are over the age of 100 and then just sharing what they've learned throughout the whole year. Hence the inspiration for this video, and I want to share 3 distinctive experiences that I've had this year as a second-year university student and the life lessons associated with them. Disclaimer, obviously, I'm not the guy that you go to for absolute life advice, but I do believe that I do have something valuable to share with you, and hence why I want to make this video for you. Before we get into it, my name is Aldridge. I'm a second-year university student studying mechatronics in Sheffield, and here are 3 life lessons that I've learned this year. First life lesson that I've learned is, I'd like to call it effective confrontation. So basically what happened is, early on this year, I was with a group of friends, and one of those group of friends kind of said a couple of things in such a nasty tone and said insulting comments to me, and in front of the friends, and everyone was like, ooh, ooh, and I kind of felt like humiliated and insulted. I just couldn't have it. So at the moment, I didn't want to make a big fuss out of it because, you know, we're hanging out. I didn't want to make it a big deal. I didn't want it to look like, you know, there's drama or there's beef. But in the future, I was thinking, I want her to know that she made me feel like I was stepped over on. You know, sometimes friends can get too comfortable with you, and you know, they kind of crossed the line. So what I did is I wanted to confront her about it, but I didn't know how to do it because I've not really done this before. So what I did is, well, I looked it up. I didn't know, I looked it up, and I came across this video from Simon Sinek, and he goes over these 3 steps of effective confrontation. Basically how it works is, there's 3 things you want to mention when you're effectively confronting someone about something. He says the first thing is to mention what they did. Second thing, how did that thing that they did made you feel? And the third thing is, how could it affect the future? So for me is, oh, when you said these comments or in this way, it made me feel insulted. And I fear that in the future, if you continue talking to me like this, then our friendship will be shaken. Something along those lines. And I feel like this was a calm way to do it. So a couple of days later, I confronted her about it. I said these 3 things, and she said sorry, and I can tell her from her face and from how she said it that she was sincere about it. And what I like about this method, it holds the person accountable for what they did, and it makes them aware that sometimes what they might say could be harmful to people. And ever since then, you know, we've moved on from that, and we're still great friends from here. So what this means for you is that if you feel like your mates have crossed over the line, speak up, because if you don't speak up, then they'll continue to speak to you in the same way that they did, in the same belittling way that they always have, and they'll always think that, oh, he's just taking this or she's taking this as a joke. Inevitably, that person will just annoy you so much, and it will probably lead to the friendship falling apart. Leading on to the second experience that I've had in university, which led to the second life lesson that I've learned, was actually during my time as the president of the Filipino Society. It was one of the best experiences I've had so far in uni. Like, it was sick. Like 11 out of 10 experience. But anyway, the number 1 lesson that I've learned from being president is to make every moment count. And I can't stress this enough. Make every moment count. This year we've had a larger amount of interests from people from first year, second year, third year. There was a very, very small society last year. So running a bigger one this year made it an amazing challenge for us. It was really fun. this gave me and the committee members, which are my friends, the motivation and the drive to pull out amazing and fun events. We went ice skating, laser tag, and it's a shame that COVID-19 happened, because we would have hosted like a mini barrio fiesta kind of type of hangout in the park. That would have been really cool. And all that time, that commitment, that energy poured into the meetings and to organizing the events and making sure that everybody had a great time, you know, it was all worth it, and I would do it again. You know, as the president, I've learned so much about leadership and delegating tasks. The treasurer learned so much about organizing finance, the secretary organizing the back office. Like, every committee member learned something, and this is such a flex for the CV as well. But at the same time, it was just an amazing experience overall. And yeah, all that is finished. Can you believe that? The year has flew by just like that. So what I'm trying to say is, grab joy when you can. You want to hold on to it as much as you can and have a good time. You know, I would make every moment count. Live your life to the fullest, because life is short. But if you live life right, then one life is all you need. There's actually a really good quote that summarizes this life lesson, and it goes, enjoy the little things in life, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. When I saw that quote online, I was like, absolutely right. It's all about the small things. Make sure you be kind, and make sure that you live your life. Make every moment count. Just treat everybody with respect, you know what I mean? Or make friends, or just make every moment count is what I'm trying to say for this life lesson. The third and final experience that kind of hit me, the idea of realizing what university is. And I wrote this in my blog post for Sheffield, and I talk about, like, okay, let's take a step back. What makes a university student a university student? I'm a university student. I eat, sleep, hang out with friends, I relax with them, I go to lectures, I go to social events, I go to night outs, and yeah, repeat and go, and I study. I forgot you study. But anyway, those are the main things that students do. But when I look at videos online, and you may have noticed this as well, when they're studying, it's usually a time lapse or just a couple of shots of them studying. Because if it wasn't, then the video would be beyond 1 hour long, 2, 3, 4 hours long, depending on how long that person is studying. However, that's what university is like. And what the main lesson here, realize that you have to sit through the boring parts of university and not just fast forward to the highlights. Realize that university is a learning environment, plus everything else that comes with being a university student. It's a place where you nourish your mind and you want to educate your mind, so that when you leave university, you're a more confident person. And for me, I'll be a competent engineer going forward, and I can get a solid career in engineering. That's pretty much like why I'm in uni. And there's this amazing quote that I've come across online as well. I love my quotes, and it goes like this: success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. What this means is students are putting in the work behind the scenes, and it may not seem like it, but hey, how do you think we're studying for our exams? So yeah, now that you've heard 3 of my personal experiences this year that's led me to learn those life lessons, I want you now to think about your own life lessons, because as I said in the beginning of this video, life lessons are learned individually and are unique to everybody. Everyone has a different story, therefore they have different lessons and different perspectives about the world. I do feel like this information can be helpful to somebody out there watching this video. If you do like this video, please like it, because it helps this channel out and it pushes it out to more people, And yeah, comment if you have something to share. You can follow me on Instagram. I've just posted something recently, and consider following me, and that's all I've got to say. Have a good day. Safe.